How's it going, metalheads, and welcome back to another video. This is just a little update video because I have missed a few days. So yeah, I'm just getting back in the swing of things. I had a very busy weekend, and so I was not able to, continue putting out some of the stuff that I have been. But getting back to it this week, got all my stuff done this weekend. So thank you guys for being cool about me taking a break and stuff. I know you guys wouldn't be the ones to say that, I'm not allowed to do that and anything, but I just really appreciate the support, even in, absences. But yeah, anyway, had a really good weekend, had some family in town, so, it was just kind of a hectic week and weekend. But anyway, we got everything done, and we need to get done, had a blast with the family. So yeah, I just wanted to get to talking about some stuff that happened while I was away from YouTube. So first, I just wanted to get into some bands I've been jamming lately that, maybe, were recommended to me, or, I haven't listened to, but they're older bands, not necessarily like new stuff that came out, just bands that have been around a while or that I needed to listen to. So the first one is Zentrix. They're like I feel like they're a 90s thrash band. Not sure if they're still around, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I listened to their 1990 album. I don't forget what that one's called, but yeah, it was pretty solid. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. The next one is Vermin Womb. I think that's the dude from Primitive Man. I cannot remember exactly, but it's a grindcore project. Pretty heavy stuff. But I thoroughly enjoyed that too. The next one is an interesting one, Blue to Os Nord. They're like kind of avant-garde black metal stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of have been getting into more of that, weird sound. Not like I don't know if I'd really call that music anymore. It's more just like kind of avant-garde weird sounds, but it's super awesome. I highly dug that too. I listened to that while I was studying a lot. The next one's also an interesting one. They're called Discharged by Death. If you're not aware, they have one album. They're split up, but they were a band formed in the New Mexico prison system. They put out an album from prison. It was a band of all convicted murderers, which is kind of interesting. Well, I'm not glorifying murder in any way, but it is a pretty good brutal death metal album. If you're in that kind of thing, go check out Discharged by Death, self-titled album. And then the last one was recommended to me actually by Tyler's Testament, my friend Ty. Immortal. I've been listening to some more Immortal because I need to get into more black metal, and it seemed like a good gateway as any. So yeah, I've been listening to Battles in the North and that kind of thing, and pretty good stuff. I enjoyed it. Yeah, some stuff happened while I was away. Some albums dropped, some shows happened, stuff like that. So the first one we're going to cover is Out the Gates. Their newest album, possibly their final album, dropped. It's the last one with Tomas on vocals. Rest in peace. Obviously, that was, a massive loss. And it was kind of bittersweet because it might be the last thing we ever hear from Out the Gates, and it was for sure the last thing we ever hear from him. And he was, a huge influence on so many, music genres and stuff like that, and especially melodeath. And Slaughter of the Soul is one of the first death metal songs I ever heard. So yeah, rest in peace to him. And it's a really good album, and I might do a full review of it here soon. But yeah, I just wanted to, say rest in peace again and stuff like that, because that was a massive loss. And it's awesome that they were able to do one last album with him. It was cool that he was able to record some stuff before, it got too bad and stuff like that. But yeah, that was a kind of a bittersweet one for sure. Next one is 6 Feet Under dropped a new album, and I'm sure you've seen everybody talking about it and how it's, everybody's sad they can't meme it anymore. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it's not going to make any year-end lists, and, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the best death metal, but hey, it's better than Nightmares to Decompose, which was fucking terrible, and it's even better than, Killing for Revenge, which was the last one. Yeah, so, I don't know, I enjoyed it pretty much. Barnes, like I said, it's not the best, but, as a 6 Feet Under fan who just wants to see them do something like passable again, it was a step in the right direction for sure, and I think the cover art was really awesome, and so that's, a bright spot of that album. The next thing I want to talk about is kind of sad. I don't know if you guys follow, just metal news at all. I'm kind of in the habit of just checking all the metal news sites every day when I wake up, and, getting, some of that stuff's kind of dumb nowadays. Like, they write about some really dumb stuff. Some stuff doesn't have to do with metal, but that is where I'll get my tour notifications and stuff like that. And one of the ones that popped up recently was that Fulci sadly dropped off the Decibel Magazine tour, which I'm going to see in May. It is Cryptopsy headliner with Blood, Monolith, Necrot, and formerly Fulci. But it's not all bad, as the replacement for Fulci was announced as Spirit Adrift. Nate Garrett said that, everybody's been asking for a farewell tour, and so they figured this was as good as any, and they are helping out and stepping in, because apparently it would have been too big of a headache for Decibel to replace, or to just delete a band instead of replace them. which is cool. I'm not really big into Spirit Adrift. I haven't really listened to them. I checked out a couple songs from the new album, but should be cool to see them, you know, especially since their last tour, it's advertised as their last tour. So that's kind of cool. Really sad because I love Fulci and really wanted to see him again, but, you know, visa issues are dumb, especially here in the States, so I can totally understand that. But yeah, that kind of sucked, but you know, it's not all bad. Spirit Adrift will be cool, especially to see that in, you know, the midst of a bunch of death metal bands will be kind of interesting. And then the last thing I wanted to go over, at the time of recording, it was yesterday night, I saw Defeated Sanity, with Inferi, Organectomy, and Excrescence. It was a very awesome show. I got there a little bit into, Excrescence's set. Not gonna lie, the guitars on that set weren't the best. I can mostly only hear double bass and, you know, froggy vocals, so it kind of sounded like bricks in a washing machine, but it's whatever, you know, it's brutal death metal. Then I moved up to the front for next band, Organectomy. They're from New Zealand. They're, you know, more brutal death metal as well, kind of bordering on slam sometimes. They were pretty awesome. I listened to them before. They're probably one of my favorite brutal death metal bands at the moment, so that was a cool set. Then Inferi went on. They were pretty awesome as well. I'm going to see them again, as I mentioned, at Flatline Fest later this year, and so they kicked ass, so that's going to be, I'm excited to see them again. I did not know, you know, of them. I recently found out about them when I listened to their new album and reviewed it and stuff, so yeah, they're a pretty awesome band. I'm going to see them again. I'm stoked about that. And then Defeated Sanity kicked ass. This is my second time seeing them. I saw them last time when they came with Sanguisugabog. Yeah, they just always kick ass. They always deliver an awesome set. So yeah, it was a super awesome show. And yeah, I may do a full review, but I feel like this is pretty good. And I didn't take too many videos, so I don't really need to throw them up for you guys because, you know, you get the picture. Defeated Sanity. So yeah, like I said, new music dropped at the gates. Obviously, 1600. Obviously, there's a new Devoid of Thought album. It's kind of different from the other stuff, but it's interesting, and I like it. So I will be doing a full review on that hopefully soon. Other than that, there is a new song from Your Spirit Dies. If you don't know them, they're like kind of some dissonant, ugly metalcore stuff. Pretty awesome. They're one of my favorite metalcore bands at the moment. They just put out a single of their new EP. It's going to be cool. Vomit Forth has a new EP. It's pretty awesome. I pre-ordered the CD of that a while ago. They just did a show together, Your Spirit Dies and Vomit Forth, but I missed that. Very unfortunate. There is a new single I missed, I think it was a couple months ago now, from Texas Ketamine, who are... I forget what state they're from. I think Idaho, but they're like a brutal death metal kind of band, and they're pretty awesome. It's been a while. I think they were on hold for a while, so it's cool to see them back in action. And then there's a new Pig's Blood album. If you don't know Pig's Blood, they're also a death metal band. I forget what state they're from, but yeah, they're pretty awesome as well. I just found out about them with this new album. So yeah, in terms of upcoming videos, I will be doing a full 6 Feet Under review of that album because I think that's, you know, a cool thing to do. You know, even with all the other reviews that are out there, I think as a 6 Feet Under fan, I have a little bit more footing to stand on, you know, than somebody who's just doing it for clicks. Because nowadays with the new album, it's not really memeable anymore. Kind of just, you know, it's kind of just mid. So I don't really know why, you know, a lot of people are doing their videos on it. I guess because, you know, it's mid and they want to support them, but I don't really think so. But I want to support them, so I'm going to do a review. Devoid of Thought, I'll also be doing a review of that one. Their self-titled just came out. Albums I Missed from 2025 Part 5 will come out. Probably the last one in the series because I would love to, you know, start paying attention to more music that's coming out this year, so I don't have to do a bunch of these in 2027 from ones I missed from this year. I'd much rather pay attention to music this year and, you know, get all those out to you guys this year. So yeah, that'll probably be the last one in that series. And also EPs I missed. I finally found 10 EPs that I liked from last year that I didn't listen to last year, so that will also come out soon. And then I want to do one about 3 thrash bands that are the new faces of thrash in my opinion, or that are, you know, and take the genre to the next level. So I think that'll be cool. But yeah, that's everything that's been happening with me, stuff like that. Finishing up school here soon, so yeah, I'm gonna keep up on the content for you guys, and yeah, I just hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everybody's doing well. Have a nice day. See ya.